Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. It is, I think it's Tuesday. I'm not sure the actual day of the week, but I do know the most important thing. It's John and Wayne show time, man. We got to spend all weekend together out in Santa Clara. We had a great time. We'll share some of that with you guys. But more importantly, there's just a lot of Niners content going on right now. This is my fourth show of the day, which I'm super excited about and very, very happy to be here. We did 2 Patreon breakdowns this morning, did a live show not too long ago, but this is the highlight of my day. Wayne, how are you, my friend?
I'm tired. Yeah, like I realized that traveling is not for me. If I can get the Star Trek beam me up joint, that'll be the way I go. Just disintegrate my whole body, put me in some particles, and let me reappear. That's what I need to do. Traveling for me drains me. But I'm happy
East Coast to West Coast is a rough. That's a rough one, man.
Will you please explain to the beautiful people out there? So when I got to the airport, I said to the people, I'm going to be on this airplane for 8 hours. And I forgot that you got to add in the 3 damn hour time shift. So it's really a 5.5 hour flight plus the 3. So when I got back, it was pitch black cold outside to New York. But I'm happy, man. Like at the end of the day, I do all this for them and I'm happy. But I am tired and I'm happy to be here. How about that?
Hey, man, that's beautiful. Sometimes, I always used to tell this to teachers and stuff like, look, nobody expects you to be at your 100% best every day. But all we can ask is give us whatever you got as your best today. And that is enough. And I'm very, very happy to be with the tired Wayne Breezy today because, man, we party so freaking hard.
Bro, listen, you had the first night. It was me the second night. It was just perfect. It was a beautiful time. You know what I mean? And how cool is it to celebrate a win, and really just like let it all out and just have a great time with some of the great faithful that came out. That was the best part. I thought the win and then the celebration after the win.
And I'll say this, I said this on the live show afterwards. I felt like that was one of the highest energy 49ers game that I've been to in a while, where it was just constant high energy from the fan base. You had the first play like letdown or whatever, but man, it was fire the whole freaking time. I loved that game. It was so entertaining.
The game so I don't know how you beat me in the stadium. Yo, you were behind me and somehow you were in there before I was. Anyway, I was getting this heavy hurt game day pins. And so I missed the 75-yard touchdown. All I heard was the stadium like cheering. I'm like, why the hell are we cheering? What are we doing?
That was after I went through the beer line, the pizza line, the bathroom line.
Yo, when you get in, I'm gonna start calling you Ghost. When you get in, you be outie. I have no idea how John got to everything before I did. But anyway, he did 3 things before I got to my seat. When I got to my seat, it was during the Jimmy Garoppolo injury time. So yeah, I missed a lot. I missed the first drive. Sucked.
Yeah, well, you missed a good play. So let me ask you this, and let's start with a little bit of news. What's up, Mosquito Killer? Love all the hashtag CC. Sean Ferris came out and partied with us this weekend. Awesome seeing you in here, man. We just got so many people. I love all the hashtag CCs. Oh, look at this, Jack. Thank you so much, Jack. You looking fresh in your picture, my friend. He says, John and Way, I feel like there's a lot of denial among the fan base. The drop off from Jimmy to a third string rookie is going to be huge. We're about to fall off a cliff and everyone is pretending we are fine. All right. So a couple things, because I think there was a comment early on. Man, where is it?
I like this comment and I like the contribution. And while you find that, if you don't,
he came out to, what's it called? He came out to Chicago as well and was partying with us there. So
yes,
he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
I remember. Now, here's the thing. Jack, I agree with you 100%. And it's like, everybody's talking about like what Brock did, but like he's about to face Todd Bowles and the realest defense he's ever faced in his career. Now, if he does it against them, then maybe we can kind of like start having this conversation. Brock is something, something to definitely look forward to, but I don't think he's the second coming of anybody. He's Brock Purdy, and we're gonna have to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm gonna say, if it gets ugly, please don't throw this guy under the bus. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we signed up for. Like, this is what he is. He's the third string quarterback. He was our backup quarterback when our first string Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy became the backup. So luckily there's something about him that Kyle likes because they kept him on the active roster all season long.
Over Nate Sudfeld. And, again, thank you
him.
so much for the gift, Jack. Really do appreciate it, man. And Big Papa comes out and he says, just watch your initial valuation of Brock Purdy on Patreon. So I loaded that back up on Patreon. You can go watch that now. This was right after we drafted him. And he says, it looks like the young gentleman seems to have improved much since your initial evaluation. I was not a Brock Purdy guy. I was not, as a Longhorn, somebody that's watched him play for his entire career, never, like, you cannot go back through his highlight film and see a lot of highlights. That's not really what he was. He's a consistent game manager, right? And so if he could play that role, now, did he have the weapons around him at Iowa State that he has now? He did not. He did not. And so now that he's got Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, CMC, all those guys, if he could just continue to be that game manager, that's awesome. He didn't complete one pass over 20 yards, which, stop me if you've heard that before, as a 49ers quarterback, right? Like, he's not a rocket arm type of guy. But I will say this, and this is kind of the way in which I want to bracket the Brock Purdy investigate or whatever experiment, whatever you want to call it. You got 2 weeks to prove you're the guy. You got Bucks this week, then you got a short week against the Seahawks, which I'll also add the 2 most important games on the 49ers schedule. Then after that, you've got that long 10-day kind of hiatus with the mini bye week after the Thursday night game. That's when, if there would be a change away from Brock Purdy, that's where it would take place. I'm not saying that would happen. I'm saying be thankful for the game we just got from Brock Purdy. He outdueled Tua. He put up 27 points on an offensive production. That is awesome. And be thankful for that. Do I expect that to continue? Do I expect the 49ers to score 30 points every week? No. Even if Jimmy was around, I wouldn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the celebration is perfect. The expectations need to be adjusted. Very similar to what Jack said. Do you agree with that, Wayne?
I do agree, because usually when a quarterback enters the game, the defense isn't fully prepared for that particular quarterback, right? We saw it happen when Jimmy came in and played against the Seahawks, and Jimmy kind of looked like he was about to light the Seahawks, which we did. I mean, the only time they scored was on a punt block return, field goal block return for a touchdown. Jimmy came in, looked good, and then his next game out against Denver, what happened? He shit the bed. It was a great defense, and so if this happens for Brock, I know a lot of people were saying, just expect the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's it. That's if you expect that,
we're going to get that. And I feel like, Jason, this is an awesome comment right here. He says, I'm all for being happy Purdy's playing well Sunday, but we have seen this before with Mullins. I want Purdy to do great, tempering expectations for now. That is exactly correct, Jason.
This is what we're saying, Jason. This is exactly what we're saying. So, yes, he gets his props. He gets his flowers. We're going to critique him. We're going to big him up. But now that that wasn't a test. This is going to be a test. That was the 28th ranked defense, John. I keep telling people Miami defense is trash. They blitzed the whole game because they're trash, right? Like, that's why they had to do it. That's why he was pressured a lot. Tampa don't have to blitz. That doesn't mean that they won't. They got different players over there. I know they're not as good as they used to be. They're still top 12D.
Yeah, if you look at points allowed, they're 5th, total yards 8th, first downs 3rd, yards per pass 5th.
Defense. Bump to 12.
9th and 3rd down percentage, 14th, 4th down. Yeah, it's a top 8 defense, no matter how you look at it. Personnel wise, coaching wise, experience wise, it's a good damn defense. And I've said for a long time now, I'm backing off this one a little bit, that my least favorite matchup in the entire NFC was the
Damn,
Bucks.
that's what I
Yeah,
said.
and people kept like, why are you scared of them? Why are you scared of them? I'm not scared of them. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying matchup wise, their defense against our offensive line, not named Trent Williams, is a question mark. And I also felt like Aaron Banks turned in another below average performance for Aaron Banks. I thought back-to-back
right?
weeks.
Back to back.
And guess what? Vita Vea, you've got some solid defensive tackle play coming your way. So not that I'm like saying, oh, the Bucks are going to win. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Miami's defense sucks, but they had a good D-line, and their D-line did a lot. And yeah, Josh, I'm with you here. Purdy's better than Mullins. I agree with that claim. Now, what did Mullins bring? Mullins' offensive production was great, better than Jimmy's. It's one of the highest of all time. If you look at just yards per game, he's up there with Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, like a couple like legit all-time players. The problem with Mullins was you average 2.2 turnovers per game. You're not going to win a lot of games.
No.
Can Purdy mitigate the negative plays? That's what it's going to come down to. He's got the moxie, right? He's got it. He's got the attitude. He's got like all that stuff. But can he limit those negative plays? That's what I think it's going to come down to, because the Shanahan system works. And I thought this was one of Kyle's best games of the year, too. I thought he called a hell of a game.
I thought Kyle Shanahan called a great game. I know a lot of people. There were a couple of plays where there were a couple of times where he kind of just seemed to like not mismanage, but just like not trust some of the things that I felt like he would have trusted if Jimmy Garoppolo was in there. But I think Kyle Shanahan just let the kid play football. Look, at the end of the day, if you let these players play their game, I guarantee you they'll come out with wins. Like it's just what they do. Brock Purdy's a football player, right? And then he's a quarterback. So he's a football player and a quarterback, right? And so if Kyle just says, you know what, Brock, let's go out there and play football. Let him learn. Let him get hit. Let him complete some passes. I thought Brock Purdy played very well. And I thought that not only did Brock Purdy play well, how about the team played well and picking up Brock Purdy? Like, how awesome is that? We're not even giving our teammates, like the team, the credit for picking him up. CMC, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, just on the offensive side, Deebo Samuel, just picking this kid up and saying, you know what, man, we got you. Just go out here and don't turn the damn ball over. We got you.
And I think, I love these comments. We got a bunch of good ones in a row. Flynn says he's going to throw picks. We can't get mad at him for it. It's going to happen. Like, it's going to freaking happen. Johnny, who knows football better than anybody, Johnny Dell's Football Academy, go check out his channel. If Purdy can avoid horrible turnovers, we can win ugly. And so he threw an interception. And again, whenever I was watching film, whenever I was at the game, it was 4th and 4. He gave the ball a chance. There's times where you can be aggressive and turnovers don't count. It counts as a turnover. But on 4th and 4, you take a sack there, you just wasted everything. You got to throw the ball up. I don't care if it's a 50-50 jump ball and you lose. That's fine. You got to give them a chance. And there were a few times. There was another time where it was late in the 4th quarter. It was like it was 2nd and like 10 or whatever, and the 49ers were in the red zone, and he took a sack. And it was the perfect time to take a sack because the clock kept going. You forced them to have to burn their last time out. You don't put the ball in jeopardy in that moment, because if you kick a field goal, you get a 9-point lead. Like, I really felt for a 22-year-old rookie, 7th round pick, getting his first game action, his game awareness, he knew what was up game situation-wise. I really, really did.
You can tell he just played some quarterbacking in his life, right? Like
50 games.
Like he had some quarterbacking in his life. 4-year player out of Iowa State,
Iowa State Cyclones.
Iowa State, yep. 4-year quarterback, and you could tell that he definitely has played some football. But I think you called it best when you said he's like the perfect game manager, right? And when you look at our team, that's what we need.
That's what he's built for. I don't like his arm. Somebody asked me, I want to ask you this question.
Well, that's the only reason why that ball was intercepted, because the ball was underthrown. I feel like if he could have put more air up under that ball, Brendan Ayuk would have caught it at the high point, would have been a catch. Now, am I faulting him for the interception? No, but it should have been a better pass.
Yes. Deadpool76 asked me this: who has the stronger arm, Jeff Garcia or Brock Purdy? And I chuckled. I was like, Garcia by a mile.
Yeah.
I think Brock Purdy might have one of the weakest arms in the NFL. I think it's weaker than Jimmy G's arm. Now, what does that mean? Okay. Like, is that mean he's a bad quarterback? No, that's not what it is at all. I think that's a big reason why he lasted so long in the draft. It's because half the teams in the NFL did not have him on the board. Whenever they watch the tape and they see the workout, they just say, this guy doesn't fit what we want as a downfield passing attack, whatever else. Shanahan's different, right? Short passes. That's what he wants. And he can fit in the system. He's a system quarterback. That's not an insult. But
He's a four-man Mac Jones, yo. Like that's kind of what he is. He can extend plays. He can roll out. He can throw on the run.
He's more mobile than Mac, I would say.
I don't know. Mac in college looked pretty mobile. Mac in the pros, I don't know if that's what Bill wants him to do. I don't know. I just felt like there's a difference between like quarterbacks that can run and then quarterbacks that are just mobile outside the pocket. And I really like what Brock is able to do, even though like 2 of those sacks, he rolled right back into him. So like roll out, roll in, crack, right?
Look at this. I'm going to share this if I can do it right. I'm going to probably mess my screen up. This website is called Mock Draftable. Okay. It's one of my favorite websites that I use every year for the draft. This is Brock Purdy versus other quarterbacks. You got this spider graph. Okay. So like, let's look through these measurables. These are measurables, things that you can measure, right? Height, 7th percentile. The lower the number, the worse. He's 6 foot. Weight, 212, 18%. Wingspan, 70 inches, 2 percentile. Arm length, 29 inches, 1%. He has the shortest arms in the entire NFL for any quarterback. He's dead last. Hand size, 9 1/4, pretty small, but 26 percentile. 10-yard split. He accelerates quick, top 95th percentile. So he doesn't have top end speed. He ran a 4.8, 4.40, which is average, but he gets there quick. And we saw that the rollout on the all-out blitz, vertical jump, 27 inches, not an athlete. You got a John Chapman over here. Now, you look at, I mean, this just looks bad. Like, you have so many low percentiles compared to quarterbacks. Now, you look at the comparables, Baker Mayfield, 75% match. Kyler Murray, and you say, wait a second, he's a match with Kyler Murray? Well, you click on Kyler Murray, guess what? Kyler Murray did nothing. Just based off of height, weight, hand size, he matches Kyler Murray. So not any of these speed issues or whatever else. Again, Brett Ripien, that was the Boise State quarterback back in 2019. Zach Wilson, Matt Corral, Skylar Thompson, Sam Howell this year. These are not move quarterbacks. They're not, right? You like his mobility. Is that what I'm hearing you kind of like?
It's not that. It's what I like is the fact that his awareness allows him to escape, and he's willing to continue to throw. So he's not looking to be mobile to tuck it and run it. He's looking to be mobile to kind of still get the ball out. And there was a couple of 3 plays where I felt like he threw some darts on the run. And then there was some that were over, right? So I feel like, man, maybe that's what he needs to practice, because he can roll out. And if he can get that accuracy, this will help Niners receivers on crossing routes, on different things, because there was a play. It was at the end of the game, toward the end of the game. We needed a first down to keep the chains moving to win the game, and we had a touchdown that he missed. And so I believe the touchdown was to George Kittle, who was wide open. They both ran the same route. It was just one was like 10-yard split. But Kittle's, if the throw was accurate, Kittle would have taken it in for 6. But I think Juwan Jennings got there. I can't remember who got the first down. I can't remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
But, and I'm with you. Ooh, I don't know if this is true. Daryl Granville, what's up, man? Appreciate the gift, my friend. He says, hi, 49ers fam. Drake Jackson has the most batted balls. I think that he does have the most batted balls on the team.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has the most in the NFL.
I would want to know where he ranks with Chris Jones on that list. How do we look up that?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Let's see here. I could do a real quick one. Batted passes in the NFL. Yeah, he's got 4, which is 5th in the NFL for every defensive player. Zach Allen was 6, Karlaftis 5, Alex Wright 5, J.J. Watt 5, Drake Jackson 4. So he's got the most batted balls for the 49ers and is 5th in the NFL. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Drake Jackson only played 9 snaps this week. And I want to go back to this Brock Purdy conversation, but thank you for the gift, Daryl. I like this. Drake Jackson's played 259 snaps. Zach Allen's 628.
Yeah, and he's 5th in the league.
Less than half.
He's developing.
Half.
And I could tell you right now, John, once he's fully developed, they're going to unleash that kid, man. He is going to be a problem for the NFL, bro. And I'm glad he's our problem.
Yeah, I am too. Jason says, I love Drake Jackson. And to give him more run, I agree. 9 snaps and had a batted ball. Yeah, I mean, you make an impact. You know what I mean? You show up whenever you get the opportunity. I feel like he's done that. There's going to be a time where he is going to be needed. And so I think that's huge. Daryl says, JC Kruger's opinion from camp said strong arm. Yeah, I don't think that's backed up on film. Maybe whenever you're throwing along Nate Sudfeld, who does have a strong arm, but you're throwing next to Jimmy G and stuff. Well, maybe you wouldn't throw next to Jimmy G. I don't know. The film that I saw and the film that I just saw from the game too this week, I would not say a strong arm. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm not seeing that, and it's okay to have that disagreements. Always okay. Always okay. Now, let's go back. Let's. I want to stick with this conversation. As long as he doesn't try to be Mullins and turn into a hero, just stick to your job. I feel like look at that. Just called him Mullins. I feel like Purdy can be successful. And, somebody else said this too, because I think that he's got way better weapons. Thank you. Akshay.
Oh, than Nick Mullins, 100%.
Yeah, if you go back to when that was, I mean, the weapons now, CMC changes everything. For Jimmy Garoppolo, for Trey Lance, for Brock Purdy, for Josh Johnson, don't care. John Chapman throwing passes, CMC helps. So do your job. Don't play hero ball. Don't play hero ball, right? Now you look at these next games, as Troy Knoll says. What's up, Troy? It's going to be a serious test. Because here's the general rule for backup quarterbacks, Wayne. Win 1 or 2 games. That's it.
Max is
try to
3.
Go 500.
Right. Max is 3. And then after that, it's a big drop off, right? It's a big decline. Hence why I wanted to bring in some type of a vet. But here's the thing. Look, it doesn't just have to be Nick. And so I said it earlier that the team, Brock, doesn't have to be Brock.
They're the same, bro. They're the same.
Here's the cool thing. It doesn't have to just be Brock. The fact that the team is better, that the team is going to build around him. He has a bunch of weapons. He has key guys. It was cool to see him utilize George Kittle. Hey, remember the tight end is usually that backup quarterback's best friend. So maybe we see more of that. I know a lot of people are saying the offensive line was really bad. I didn't get really bad. Like I got not as good as they have been, but I didn't get bad. And 2 of those sacks was on the quarterback. And at the end of the so that's kind of like how I am about the situation. Does Brock Purdy have to go in here and be perfect? No. The defense needs to continue playing the type of defense that they're playing, and the offense needs to continue to figure out ways how to make plays. And if they do that, Brock Purdy is going to continue to keep this team winning. I just think that's what it's going to be.
I do like this take from Jack, and I do want to say appreciate you joining us live. We've talked in the past. I know he's a Spotify guy, so appreciate you joining us live. And for all you Spotify people, man, I'm very thankful. I'm not trying to say whatever, but it's nice to have a little more interaction. Check our live shows, but just appreciate all interactions, live or after the fact. He says, lower expectations. If we can win 2 out of 5 games and be bounced in the first round of the playoffs, that's kind of what I expect now. I was with you to that last part, Jack. Because, okay, let's talk about playoff seedings, where the Niners are and what they need to do.
We're going to be playing the Giants right now, dog.
Right. So we're the 3 seed playing against the Giants, right? And if we look at just kind of the standings in general with kind of where the playoffs are and all that kind of stuff, we're the 3 seed currently winning our division. Now, the Seahawks are number 7. They're the last spots in at 7-5. So what do you have to do to get to the playoffs? That's the conversation I want to have. Can
Well,
you win 2 games and get
yes.
to the playoffs?
That's why he said you only. So before Jimmy got injured, before the last game, before the Miami game, we only needed to go 3-3. That we get 3-3, we'll find our way into the playoffs. And especially if you beat Seattle. You beat Seattle, you kind of negate them that last spot, depending on how other teams play. But they're already the last spot. So that's why John said earlier that game is the most important game remaining on the schedule. What's going on with the Vermilion Sports Report?
Ooh,
That
love
game
it, man. Appreciate the kind words, brother.
most important game on the schedule because the 49ers control their destiny. They're not going to get the 1 seed because Philly won't lose, right? But they can still go push for the 2 seed.
Yeah,
So
the 2 and 3 seed are important because if you get the 2 seed, you get that extra home game guaranteed.
There it is.
Guaranteed in the divisional round. Because if you're the 3 seed and then you play the 2 seed, right, you would be going to probably the Vikings or to Philly or to Dallas, which we could do. We beat Philly and Philly last year. We beat Dallas and Dallas last year. We beat the Vikings at home last year, but we could beat them there too. I do want to go to that stadium. I do want to go to that stadium. But like again, you can win 2 games and make the playoffs easy, depending on the 2 games. If the 2 games are against Seattle 1, that's a must win. And then either the Bucks or either the Commanders, I would say this. If I could pick 2 games to win, I would say Seattle 1, Commanders 2.
See, I would say Bucks 1, Seattle 2, because you want to eliminate the Bucks if you can.
But the problem is somebody's got to win that division. The wild card's not coming out of the NFC South with, the Bucks and the Falcons and all that.
Correct.
And so my problem is, okay, to guarantee the playoff seed, you've got Seattle at 7-5. You've got Commanders at 7-5-1. Everybody else seems to be kind of eliminated from the playoffs. Like
that's what
almost
I'm saying.
all of them.
So all right. So you beat the Bucks, right? And if they still win their seed, at least you got an easy team.
Right.
Somebody's got a team, like an easy team in there. I'd rather not see I don't know what we're gonna do on Christmas Eve. I don't know who's gonna play. I don't know, right? But I mean, I want us to win all the games.
Yeah, I do too.
It comes down to the importance. I think you want to win this one because here's why: you win this game. As far as standings, I mean, obviously you stay at the number 3, and if somehow Minnesota can lose, you can somehow sneak into this number 2 spot. Plus, you've given this kid more confidence, and I'm sorry. You beat Tom Brady as a 7th round draft pick. That's confidence. And that is what I want for my man Brock. I want him to be able to get that confidence. And now you're going to be on another cloud circuit of riding into the next week's games. Can he do it on a short schedule? Possibly. He's young.
He did it with no practice. He did it with no first team reps.
I know.
He did it coming off the bench. It was just freaking.
He was Tua Tagovailoa. He was playing him.
I want a whole series of drops of you trying to say Tua's name because I swear, like the old Teddy Ruxpin, you know what I'm talking about? I just want that going. Now, speaking of memories, thank you, Niner Zeno, man. Appreciate the gift. Thank you. He says, John and Wayne, we talked about this before, and I love this. What great memories do you guys have from when the Niners won the Super Bowl in 1995? That was against the Chargers. It was a 94 season, but the Super Bowl took place in 95. I remember the jersey I was wearing. And, I lived in Dallas-Fort Worth. And so my family was a big football family. And we would always talk trash. And it was bad because I was only a Niners fan. Everybody else was Cowboys fan. I was a jerk. And I remember probably the picture that stays in my head. I would have been 12 or 13 years old at the time, right? So I remember being the last one in the room because nobody else could finish the game because I was talking so much noise and it was such a blowout. So I remember sitting in the middle of the floor, wearing my white Jerry Rice jersey, just elated. You know what I mean? I felt like I had a sphere around me of invincibility and I just destroyed everybody. I didn't do anything. I just sat there and talked trash, chubby 13-year-old self. But that's how I felt. They all left. It was just me. And I was so happy because we won. I don't know. What about you, Wayne?
What a day. I don't know if anybody else felt this way. This is the only game ever I felt confident in beating. I was more worried about beating Dallas and the NFC Championship and losing that game. But when we beat them, there was no team in the world that was going to beat my 1994 49ers team. And I say my because they were my team. I don't care what nobody says. This was around my birthday. This happened for me. That team right there, greatest team, one of the greatest teams assembled. That was an assembled. That was
420 Savage says greatest season ever.
That was the Avengers. And we straight up snapped. I'm telling you, we disintegrated them, yo. They were deflated. First play of the game, bomb to Jerry Rice, bro. Deflated. And I had on the red Jerry Rice starter jersey, by the way.
Oh, nice. Clean. Yeah. I'll say this, too, because I remember that was the, Jerry Rice and Dion fighting week. Because Dion's throwing parties. I think it was in Miami was the game, I believe, correct? Mm-hmm. And Jerry's like, dude, we got the Super Bowl tomorrow. And Dion's like, man, we'll win with our backups. Who cares? And all that stuff. And it was just like
Deion Sanders was just as confident as Wayne Breezy. I was. Yeah. I'm telling you, there was no way they were losing to the Chargers, bro.
American Patriot says, speaking of the Chargers, my daughter didn't know the name, so she called them the Zappers. I laughed so hard.
I like that,
and now I call them the Zappers. Oh, I love stuff like that. Those little inside stuff. I love it.
Same thing to me because
Big Papa. Yeah. Big Papa says the win over Miami was supposed to be one of the greatest quarterbacks. I think personally, and what's crazy is because Steve Young got benched that year. If you remember, he got benched early.
84.
No, 94. That was one of the greatest statistical seasons of all time.
I thought it was all time Miami game.
And like that was just freaking awesome. It was incredible. And the fact that Jerry Rice, what he had 3 touchdowns, wasn't named
TDs, bro,
because Steve Young had 6
touchdowns, bro.
in a Super Bowl, man. Like, that is just.
That's the only team that's the only game I knew we were going to win. They were like, once we got past Dallas, it was smooth sailing.
Oh, Daryl, look at this. I was 19 pledging Phi Beta Sigma on the radio. How cool is that, man? That is incredible. So cool. I freaking loved it. Chrissy says, I was so drunk at my brother's bar he managed in Palm Springs. It was fun. And that's the thing that the 49ers do, or sports in general. We just experience success much more than most other fan bases. It brought everybody together, which was important. Corey, thank you for the gift, man. He says, sometimes you come off the bench and win a game, not that uncommon. We're a long way from knowing what Purdy is going to do whenever he's out there. You're correct. And this was why Mullins, again, going back to those comparables, Mullins was great until he had to game plan. When Mullins went through an entire week of practice and game plan and scripted plays, he wasn't that good. When he immediately came off the bench for a Jimmy injury or a CJ Beathard injury, he was fire. But whenever he had the whole week, that's when it was bad Mullins. Well said, Corey.
That's what's concerning me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Purdy isn't better than Mullins, but now you're telling him to learn the playbook. Mm-hmm. Like you got to learn the 30 phrase play and know what all that stuff means and not mess up and not hand the ball off wrong. And like, it's just a lot, you know what I mean? So we'll see. That's the only thing. And then again, he's going up against a Todd Bowles top 8 defense. So it's going to be tough. We're going to need our offensive line on their A game. And you know what? Let's try some different type of plays. Let's try some tricks, some counters, some whatevers. Got to figure out how to get him in a rhythm. We did see bootlegs and rollouts, something we didn't see much with Jimmy. So
he can move. He's much more mobile than Jimmy is. There's no doubt about that. Now, before we get to some more questions, keep them coming. I'm loving the chat. It's active. We got a lot of stuff to get to. I've got a couple more questions I want to get to from Wayne. I'm going to put them through the linebacker question. Uh-oh. You guys know what it is. It is winning season at MyBookie. As always, if you want to enjoy the football games, 49ers, or just NFL, or really any sport in general, you can bet on anything over there. MyBookie.ag We've been with them for years. Very trusted site. Get your money in, get your money out easily. And on top of that, all season, double deposit bonus. Whenever you first deposit your money, let's say you deposit $250, you get $500 credited to your account if you just use our promo code 49ERS or scan this QR code right to the side of me if you're watching this on YouTube. And again, it just sets you up completely. My bookie is incredible. Bet with us. We're on Patreon. We share our bets every single week, all season long. So join us, mybookie.ag, promo code 49ers. Bet anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right. Okay, Wade. I hope you're ready, man. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, and I apologize if you did. Here's the question. You got to pick one of these linebacking tandems, okay? You ready? You can have Greenlaw and Patrick Willis, or you can have Bowman and Fred Warner. You got to pick one.
So my best friend. Hey, Fred, can we still be best friends? I'm going with the hitters, bro. I'm going with the hitters. I'm going with the hitters and the suplexers. Listen. You know I love Fred Warner. He's my favorite player. I gotta go with Patrick Willis and Dre Greenlaw. And I think that
we got breaking news.
Okay, let's go.
We got breaking news.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope people watch our shows because we tell them what's happening. Baker Mayfield was just claimed by the Rams.
Hey, we knew that.
By the Rams. This is the best news of the day. I was very adamant.
I'm just glad we didn't get to play him again. Damn.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about this. David says Baker Mayfield was just awarded to the Rams. John was right. I appreciate it. I said, I've said so many times, like my whole take was I'm fine with Baker joining the team, not with that contract and not a guaranteed roster spot. I wanted to clear waivers, then bring him on as a practice squad quarterback or not at all. I choose not at all. And I really do wish we played the Rams right now. We always wish we could play the Rams all the time, but Baker Mayfield's gone and I love it. I'm happy for him, happy for the Rams. He fits in perfectly there. Him and Jalen Ramsey, they're going to get along just fine.
I like what you just did there. So since you got questions for me,
and
you put me through that ringer because you got my best friend going to denounce me.
That's a hard question. Sorry. And if you want to expand more on your answer, jump into it because we talked about it a little earlier on the show.
It's for me, it's like, all right, Patrick Willis to me arguably is probably like the greatest linebacker. And I know it's hard to say he was the greatest linebacker of all time in such a short career, but man, he was amazing. And he could cover. This was before they started just putting anybody in the slot. He could cover too, but he also took people away from football. I don't know if he liked that, but he was different. Great tackler, finished the plays, forced turnovers, interceptions, tip passes, and could cover. That's P. Willis. And then Dre Greenlaw would be the perfect complement, right? Hey, man, Pat, you mind if I play Mike right now? You could go play out. No problem, dude. But then here's the crazy thing. I love Navarro Bowman. This is a hard question.
It's like picking favorite kids, You can't
it's hard pick favorite kids. Well, I tell you what, if I could have that first group 2 weeks out of the month and then the other group the next 2 weeks, I just rotate them. That's what it would be.
It's hard. It's hard to pick. And I got a lot of why would you do this to me? All that kind of different stuff. And so anyway, now before we get to your question real quick, we got a super chat. What's up, Niners Zeno? Is it Niners Eno or Niners Zeno? Let me know in the chat because I want to make sure I say this correct. Niners Zeno or Niners Eno from the 209. How big is our Super Bowl window after this season? The core is locked up. When the 49ers drafted Trey Lance, I don't want to turn this into a Trey Lance conversation, but when the 49ers drafted Trey Lance, I said 2023, 2024, those are the years to win the Super Bowl. This year's been pretty special. I think that it changes a little bit with Trey out. They could change it even more with Jimmy out. Not sure it's still open for this year, but hey, crazy things have happened. You got the best defense. Why can't we do – this was one of the comments earlier.
We could do what the Ravens did. You got to look at what like
Right
Trent
here.
Dilfer at that time. Or Tampa, but they didn't win though, right? Cat D, did they win that year? They didn't win that year. They got to the NFC
They
Championship.
got there. They got there.
So
It was
that
Brad Johnson. They won with Brad Johnson.
right. So here's the thing. Look, it's gonna take work, right? It's gonna take some work. It's gonna take some time. Like I said, if this defense can find a way to stay healthy, it's gonna be hard for any team to put up points.
Yeah.
And so, like 13 to 17, 20 would be max. Like 20 literally will be the max that I think that this team gives up for the remainder of the year. And the only reason why I'm saying 20, John, is because I'm being optimistic and saying that every drive for Brock Purdy won't be a scoring drive. And
Yeah.
so that means your
It's
defense
not.
is going to be on the field a little bit longer.
But it wasn't with Jimmy either.
Well,
It was like they scored 6 out of 7 possessions during the Mexico City thing, but that was after three and outs.
Yeah.
Tammy, she says the Niners should side Baker just in case Purdy gets hurt. They didn't get the chance. So the 49ers were 24th in waiver wire. Rams were 4th. And so it goes, reverse order of record. Rams suck. They got the first chance. They will release all the teams, I'm sure, that put in waiver claims for him. I would not be shocked. And again, I've said this. I would not have put a waiver claim in for Baker. I would have tried to get him afterwards if everybody passed on him. Baker is off the field. And all those people that kept telling you, like, oh, we should do it. We should do it. We should do it. It's okay to disagree. I'm curious to see if, they put that in there because I don't think that they did. I don't think that they did put one in there. I don't know. We will see here, though.
Yeah, according to Kyle, though, like he
happy with what we got.
He was happy with what we got,
So am I. Josh Johnson. This is his. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
84th NFL transaction officially. His 84th. Somebody said I didn't want to say this, but it did make me chuckle. You probably saw me like chuckle just a little bit. Oh no, I didn't mark it. Dang it! There's the chat is killing it, and here it is. Vlad Johnson gets passed around more than Rihanna. Oh gosh, man, that hurts, bro. That hurts, bro.
What's my name? What's my name?
I love it, man.
What's my name?
So there we go. So that's where that is. All right, Wayne. I'm sorry. We got diverted. You're trying to bring me some questions, cause some problems in my life, and I deserve it.
Greatest kicker of 49ers all time. Greatest kicker. You got it. Phil Dawson. I'm gonna put him in there. David
He belongs
Akers,
in it.
I'm gonna put him in. You can only pick one though.
But and so my thing is this: like, I don't think Phil Dawson or
Akers,
even Robbie Gold or Akers.
Yeah, but they got
going to consider the 49ers their original team. Maybe
but
Phil Dawson.
They got famous with the Niners.
Akers was with us for 2 years.
And then Joe Nedney would be the other guy.
Dawson was with us for 3 years. And so Tommy Davis, way before my time. Ray Wersching, way before my time. Yeah, but, if you look, okay, so here's just some of the numbers. Ray Wersching's made 190 for the Niners. Jeez. Robbie Gold, 154. Tommy Davis, 130. Nedney, 129. Kofor, 128.
Oh, Mike
Gossett, 99. Dawson, 99.
Who was your favorite kicker then for the 49ers out of the 4 that I named? If you had to pick one, who would it be? Nedney, Akers?
I'm going to go Robbie Gold. Ooh. I'm going to go Robbie Gold. He's never missed in the playoffs, man.
Ooh.
He literally won. Like, you do not. What kicker had a more memorable moment than the Green Bay game in the divisional round in the snow? What was it, like 50 yards, flipping off the Packers?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I asked this on the show earlier today. And I'm like that. I used the New Orleans Saints example. I felt like that was when you knew that he should have been no longer talked about. Like that was the ice. That's where the good as gold came from. That was the ice in the veins. Has he missed since then? For sure. But look, Robbie Gold is probably one of the greatest kickers in the NFL. Like,
yeah, he's 10th all time in points scored now.
10th all time in points scored.
My phone's blowing up about Baker stuff. Everybody tried to talk to me.
Bump a Baker.
I told everybody I didn't want Baker. We stand on our claims, right? It's so easy to jump on this show and just say BS and say whatever.
Ramsey, bro. I love Robbie Gould.
Oh man, yeah. Like I don't know, man. Like I think you've got to. I don't know. I like Wayne so much because when Wayne is wrong or I'm wrong, we'll tell you we're wrong.
Absolutely.
But we're going to stand by what we say. We're not just throwing shots all the time to tear down or build up or whatever. People want to call us positive all the time. That's cool too. Was I positive about Baker? I don't think so. No, not at all.
Positive about Brock Purdy either. But hey, you stand by it.
I was not.
And now now it's his time to show everybody in the rest of the world why he should have been drafted higher. Like this is let that fuel his fire. Whatever it takes for Brock Purdy, he's been put and a lot of people saying there's no expectations. You might be right, but you know what there is? Pressure. Robbie Gould is going to be pressure. You know why? Because you, the fans, ain't having that. Imagine if we lost all 5 of these games. Not putting bad juju out there. Just imagine we got 5 games left. We go 0-5, right? What's going to happen to Brock Purdy, bro? Just this, not from the fan standpoint. What do you think they're going to say?
They're going to go after him.
Oh, he's a 7th round pick. I ain't going to hear nothing. You might hear that for loss 1, loss 2, maybe in loss 3. After that, y'all going to get fed up. Let's just keep it a buck with each other, y'all. So I want Brock Purdy to succeed. Whatever drives him, fuels him, he just has to go out there, manage the game, don't make the mental mistakes and turn the ball over. I don't care about mental mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. And then I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And again, this is a conversation I want to jump on just briefly. Savage says Baker's better than Johnson. Maybe. Is he better at being a backup? Is he better at being a teammate? Hell no, he's not. Do people like him? They do not. This culture that the 49ers have, it's very cohesive.
Super.
You don't want to mess that up right now. And maybe the 49ers put in a claim for him. So somebody keep paying attention and let us know if you see something in there. And we'll see. Because if the Niners put a claim in for him, then that'll tell you, okay, then they agree with you that Baker is better than Josh Johnson. Or maybe they carry 3. They've got room with the injuries, especially with what's happening with Ridgeway. He's going to be going on IR. So they have room. They could have added quarterback. They did not promote Jacob Eason yet. They still could from the practice squad. But right now, it's Josh Johnson. It's Brock Purdy. Corey, appreciate the gift. He says, Niners only fan base I've seen denigrate their rookie quarterback. Lance deserves better. As a 25-year fan, it boggles my mind, truly. It does. And, I hate that, politics and stuff have to get into it. But, man, people tied themselves to Jimmy. And I get that. I tie myself to players all the time. That's okay. And the problem is, as much as we love the players, you love the team more. And that's not the case in today's society, in this post-LeBron James society, right? You meet people and they say, oh, I'm a LeBron fan. I'm like, yikes. That scares me. I get it. But that is something that is new in today's superstar world. And that carries over. But yeah, I don't understand why this is a take that we've talked about a lot. Why can't you love Jimmy, love Trey, love Brock? Why is that so hard?
You don't just have to. This isn't what is it? The monogamous relationship where you just got to be married to one and love that only one person. No,
you can love them all, baby.
You love them all.
We polyamorous. I think is what it's called.
Too. Okay, just love them. If you want to love,
dude, that's okay.
Don't go tell your spouse that we're talking about football love, not that love. Y'all figure that out. That ain't on me. Don't put that one on Breezy.
But I've got my Jimmy Garoppolo jersey right next to my Trey Lance jersey. There's not
mine's then they're in numerical order, so it's.
Oh, look at you! See, I'm not organized. You know me. I just throw it in. You've seen how I pack for these trips and all the stuff.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, you pack neat.
Yeah.
When we hear, and then. When it's time to leave, we just throw all the shit in your suitcase.
Yeah, alcohol has been flowing.
Yeah.
And Adam, I love this. If Purdy wins the Super Bowl, Kyle should get Coach of the Year for insulating this team. I love that word.
I love that word.
Shout out to Steph. She's incredible. She's the one that she called that before the season. Use that term. I also had a few bucks Coach of the Year. I love it, Adam. And shout out to the family and the newborn, man. Hope everything's going well, brother. But I'll say this. I thought Kyle had his best game last week. I thought it was the best Kyle Shanahan called game all year, with a quarterback who had zero first-team reps.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Well, it started to not. I didn't think it was going to go well, but I think what Kyle did was he stepped back and simplified things. All we saw was quick slants. It's like, yeah, like finally we can dice.
Mhm.
I mean, and plus you got to figure it was part of the way the defense was playing, but he was able to get those balls, the passes off quick. And I'm like, thank you, Kyle, for just letting the kid play some freaking football. I always say that if Kyle let Jimmy play, he'd probably be better. And if Kyle let Trey Lance play, he'll probably be better. Let those kids play football, Kyle. I know you want them to learn your system. Yep. And I think they will the more they get comfortable playing football.
We'll see, man. And you know,
breaking news that Jimmy won't need surgery. Is that for real?
Let's double check real quick. I would really like that.
Oh,
sources. Adam Schefter. Breaking news. Doctors concluded today that 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo does not need foot surgery. It is not a Liz Frank injury. And if rehab goes smoothly, he could have a chance for a 7 to 8 week return, making him a potential playoff contributor. All right. We got to break out the calendars. It's time, baby.
Wow.
We got to figure this out. So, all right.
Round 2, right?
Well, okay. So the injury took place. Let's try to be as exact as we can. The injury took place December 4th. Okay. Now, the regular season concludes December 8th. So if we're just going by weeks and counting just Sundays, just simplify it a little bit. The 11th. So let's see here. 1 week is the Bucks, 2 weeks Seahawks, 3 Commanders, 4 Raiders, 5 Cardinals. Your playoffs would start that very next week. So that would be 6 weeks for the wild card round, 7 weeks for the divisional round, 8 weeks for the NFC Championship. Then you got the week off. That'd be 10 weeks for the Super Bowl. Boy.
This is hilarious. This. I love the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, we got to call it. Look at Adam. December 4th at 5:03 p.m.
Wow.
So, yeah, we've got to, if we're going to call it right, Adam, I appreciate you.
So Super Bowl is what we're talking about right now.
Well, if it's the 7 to 8 weeks. And I think the whole thing turns to this idea. And I said the same thing about Trey once Jimmy got hurt. It's a long shot. It's a long shot that you are hopeful for, right? Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And so, yeah, man, let's just say this. We're Niners fans, but I think the biggest winner in this is Jimmy freaking Garoppolo. Thank God he finally got positive injury news as a guy that probably just lost $20 million a year with that damn injury. If he can come back and get a clean bill of health before free agency, that is great news for the freaking world because he deserves it. He deserves it. So shout out to Jimmy. I love that. You know, I love it. I love it. It makes me very happy. Again, like what we just said, you can love Trey. You can love Jimmy. You can love Brock. You can love Josh Johnson. You can love them all. And that's the correct way to do this. Now, you can disagree with the way they play or maybe not be a fan of their play style. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Daryl, thank you so much, man. He says, they bash Trey because he's a young black man who took a white man's job. That's it. That's all. Sadly, for some, that is true. There's no doubt about it. Race does play a factor for some people. I hate that it is that way.
I hate it. Doesn't make sense.
As a person that moved away from the majority of his family, I can tell you that is 100% a solid take for certain people. And I wish it wasn't that way. And it might be a small minority, but they might be very loud. But that's my entire family where I came from. That was a defining factor for how all decisions were made, sadly. I wish it wasn't that case, but it's what it is. And I'm not saying that's what's at place for other people, but for some people it is. Niners first, man. You bleed red and gold, everything else kind of takes care of itself.
This is good news, but it's weird news, right? Because like, so Trey Lance out for the season, but should have been on schedule to play, like come back and return. He's past his time from the injury. If I gotta ask this question, because if Jimmy Garoppolo, so you won't clear Trey Lance, he's done for the season. Why not just shut Jimmy Garoppolo down for the season as well?
Well, now, I mean, it depends on roster spots. It depends on, there's a lot there. So if there's a chance he could come back.
But there's a chance Trey Lance could come back and Kyle keeps shooting it down. Like he won't allow him to come back.
I don't think that this is a Kyle story. I think that this is an agent leaked to Schefter. Anytime Schefter tweets something, it's because an agent told him. That's what that is. So this is a Jimmy story, which he has the right. It's his health. It's his recovery. Mm-hmm. It's all those things. My phone will not stop ringing.
Yeah, mine's blowing up.
I got to turn it. I got to turn it down. Turn it over. And so I think this is good news. If Trey could come back, that would be good news. If Jimmy could come back, that would be good news. If Kinlaw could come back, that would be good news. If you see what I'm saying? If Elijah Mitchell could come back.
But it seems like Kyle won't let Trey. My point is Kyle he's saying no to Trey, but won't say no to Jimmy.
Well, this is breaking news. Literally probably what happened. Jimmy finally got the opinion because he got multiple opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And the agent was probably with him there. And I guarantee you the first person they called was not Kyle, was not John, was not the team doctors. It was Adam Schefter.
No, I got it.
And it was like, put this out there. Why? Because narratives matter for that.
So if Brock is playing well and we're winning.
Yeah, you roll with it. Just like if Jimmy was playing well and Trey came back, you roll with it. Okay. You stay with the hot head. Just like Tayshaun Gibson's playing well, you roll with him. You move like this is sports. And everybody used to say like, oh, if you can't lose your job from an injury. Bull freaking crap. Yes, you can. Alex Smith has entered the chat. You can. That is, it doesn't make it bad. It sucks. It's not like quote unquote fair. But guess what? Life ain't fair. Look how great I look all the time. That's not fair to everybody else. I'm beautiful. Some of you guys, maybe not so much. Life's sorry, I was throwing shots. Wayne, you're pretty, man. I give it to you. I give it to you.
And you're beautiful. But no, I get. Listen, I'm just saying, like,
coaches lie. Yes.
No, what I'm saying is, it could cause us another story. That's all. So it can cause another stir up, especially if Trey's doctors is clearing him, and Kyle's continuing to keep him shut down. Opposed to like, you know what I'm saying, the Jimmy Garoppolo. And I see a lot of people in the chat saying, oh, it's because Jimmy's not going to be here next year and Trey is the future. I get it. But I mean, if football players can play, they should be able to play, right? That's kind of how I look at it.
Well, they're different injuries. Trey's foot was pointing a different direction.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo's ankle was bent differently. It just wasn't broke.
Right. And so I broke my ankle before. And so like, it's different. If you're looking at the 7 to 8 weeks from when Jimmy got hurt, his was September 18th. Right. Mm-hmm. So we're past 10 weeks. His injury happened 11 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like it's not the same. So if you're 7 to 8 weeks from now, you know, and it's different too, because Trey's a mobile quarterback. So he has to be in quote unquote football shape. Jimmy, not so much.
I think my point is Trey will be more healthier, right? Because he had more time to heal.
That's a much more complex injury. Okay. And because he's mobile, it changes that as well.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like at the end of the day, whoever is the best quarterback should be out there playing. That's
yes. And if somebody's rolling hot, whether that's Brock Purdy, again, don't care. Mm-hmm. You let them go. And so, yeah, I mean, if Jimmy is clear, and this is the thing, we go back, Raheem Mostert, right? Talking about how Kyle and the 49ers tried to rush him back from an injury, in his opinion. Jimmy's trying to rush back. This is not the 49ers rushing him back. Let me say this again. This is the agent of Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy Garoppolo calling Adam Schefter. 49ers didn't break this news. Schefter did. That's an agent play because of money. I mean, it just makes sense. One, he wants to play. Like, he feels like he's earned this. Play all three. There we go. Let them all play. Rotate series, baby. 21 personnel. Get all the quarterbacks out there. I freaking love it. And I'm interesting why people are saying, somebody let me know why do you guys not want Jimmy back if he's healthy? Would you want Jimmy to sit for 7 weeks and to get his first start in the playoffs? Is that something you would want? As somebody that started relatively slow in certain seasons, usually not known as a fast starter, 2019 did go 9-0. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is fun.
It's something to definitely stick to. I tell you what, I was expecting Jimmy to just be done for the year, and I was cool with it because I accepted it, and I'm full in on the Brock Purdy situation.
Were you that way with Trey as well?
I wasn't that way with Trey only because it happened early, and I just felt like there was time for him to come back. Jimmy's is happening late, and I didn't feel like there was going to be time to come back, right? But now the good news is the Jimmy situation isn't as severe as they thought, and so it's only a 6 to 8 week type of thing. So it must be more of a sprain than a break. There's no way he broke that joint and could come back 6 to 8 weeks. So
I don't know.
I don't know. Sounds like a high foot ankle sprain, like how it normally was, opposed to, and he just doesn't need the surgery on it. See what I'm saying? So like we'll see. And like I said, it all comes down to, I guess, Jimmy Garoppolo. Like you said, at the end of the day, I tell you what, if he does come back, it just adds more to him just being that ultimate warrior, yo. Like dude is playing battle tested. The question is, will he be effective? We won't know. But if Brock is hot, Brock is hot.
Ah, I love it. I love it. I
don't know what you do.
YMCM coming through.
Yes, sir.
Our missions, baby. I love it. Daryl, thank you for the gift, man. He says if Purdy's playing well, they should not replace him with Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the exact same opinion that I have had with Trey. You know, you always want the backup. You always want the backup, right? So if Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, I would say he should replace Josh Johnson.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
If Brock Purdy's playing well, if Brock Purdy goes 2-3 down the stretch and he has, you know, a similar touchdown to interception ratio, whatever else, then yes, I would take Jimmy Garoppolo off of a 7 to 8 week hiatus. I would take Trey Lance off of a 7 to 8 week, or shoot, his would be a 15-week hiatus. I would take that, but not if Brock Purdy is playing well. Now that is going to be up for debate. Because a lot of people would say, you know, Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't played well. I don't know who those people are. I think he's played great.
I think he's great.
I do too. I
think Jimmy Garoppolo is the reason why we are where we are. And I know you got to factor in some of the key pieces that we were able to add, but it just, you know, adding CMC just unleashed another like layer of Jimmy Garoppolo, and it was a layer that I wanted to see for the remainder of the season. You know what I mean? And it just, you know, it just so happened. And I know people saying that I feel I'm this type of way. I'm disappointed that Jimmy's coming back. No, I'm not. It's not what I'm saying.
This is great news.
This is great news. I'm just confused.
Like it's weird.
One report, it's broken in many places. Then the next report, he's out for the year. And now it's, hey, he might not be. So now you got to sit there and try to scaffold. Okay, now I'm all in on Brock, and we're pushing him and hoping that he's going to continue to succeed. But if not, then we filter Jimmy back in. But like you guys said, let Brock rock. If he's hot, let him continue to rock with the rock, you know, if he's hot.
Yeah. And man, this just came across from Adam Schefter. Again, the 49ers did not put in a waiver claim for Baker Mayfield. Did not. Didn't want him. So I'll say it again. This team works. The culture works. Baker wasn't going to be the savior for anything. We told you that here. We told you. Wayne and I are not smart people. I do feel like we have a pretty good pulse on the 49ers and their decision-making process. And I think we kind of nailed this one.
I mean, we nailed that one. We put it out there. Should the 49ers entertain it? And it's funny. Did I want Baker Mayfield on this team? No. But was that something that the 49ers may have looked into? It will all depend on how they felt about their quarterback situation. And they already kind of told us they went and claimed the guy that they wanted in Josh Johnson, right? So they put the claim in for the guy that they wanted. Actually, they were trying to claim him a while ago. Remember back the Denver week? Like they were going to try to claim him that week, but I forgot how the story went.
They were going to put him on the practice squad. The rule says you can't, you have to choose who to protect on your practice squad before claims go through.
Yes.
And so you have to decide that on Tuesday. So like you would have to protect players on the 49ers practice squad today for next week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so because he was on a practice squad, you could just snipe him right there.
Makes perfect sense.
Daryl, appreciate the gift again, man. Generosity is awesome. He says, Jimmy Garoppolo will fail us. We've all seen it happen too many times. Don't want that anymore. I want the 6th ring. Well, I think the injuries, maybe.
Yeah, that's the only way. Like,
I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo gave up 21 points in the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the Super Bowl. He didn't play well in the last drives. And again, I'm not the Jimmy G savior guy. That's not who I am.
No, but here's the thing. Like, we all stay stuck on the past. And until we see that come to fruition, I get it and I respect it. But I'm optimistic, right? I also pay attention to what's going on now. And I'm saying, guys, this is not the same Jimmy Garoppolo.
Not the same team.
NFC
not same coaching staff.
It's not the same team. It's not the same coaching staff, like John is saying. So, and so you're seeing a totally different vibe from this particular 49ers. You're seeing a more mature vibe, right? Guys that have known each other for a while. Then you're bringing in key pieces and they're able to do things that we've never seen before. So for some reason, I don't think Jimmy was going to do terrible in the playoffs at all. And remember, he's only been trending up. The only thing that I cared about when it came to Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't interceptions. It wasn't turnovers. It wasn't any of that. It was being healthy. That's it.
That's exactly why Kyle Shanahan said they traded up for Trey Lance. Not because Jimmy Garoppolo was playing bad, just because he couldn't stay healthy. Corey, thanks for the gift, man. He says, Jimmy Garoppolo out 2 months. Breaking news. I love it. If Brock starts losing, is Lance suddenly considered? Tim Kawakami, the TK show, said he gets the impression from sources the door is not closed. Trey's been working out. I've been saying this. What do I tell you about the 49ers and what to believe with them? Don't listen to them when it comes to injuries. Don't trust what they say. Don't trust it. They're very honest.
It's
not with injuries. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Corey.
It's just something that we got to just kind of like stick around and like just pay attention to. You know, I don't think many of you want Trey Lance to come back because you want to make sure he's super healthy for next year, right? And so it is what it is. But like I said, I don't know.
That ring, you push all the chips in. I don't give a damn what you got to do.
I'm with you.
That's my mentality as a coach.
Go all in. Yeah,
I don't care.
All in. You go all in.
Thank you for the gift, man. Appreciate it, Mr. Nestor. He says, I want 49ers play all 3 and keep teams always confused as to who will be starting for them in each game. I love it. You're a trickster. I appreciate it. It's what it is. So I don't want this show to keep going. I know I kept waiting longer than we usually do. I apologize, brother. It is great to be with you as always. I got more sleep than he did. He got in much later than I did.
I did. You were doing shows, and I'm like, God dang it, I'm still on the airplane.
I love it. Worldwide City, thanks for the chat. Niners activate Jimmy or Trey to quarterback.
You guys are starting trouble. Let me tell you something.
Ooh, they all come back at the same time, Wade.
Yo, it's so funny that they're starting this trouble. Listen, I think you activate Jimmy. You activate Jimmy.
Yeah, that's what you do. The order should be. This is what you do. Brock, if he's hot, right? You stay with him. If not, Jimmy would be next, and then Trey would be next. Like you stay with the recency bias as to who has done it the most recently. And the way Jimmy was playing was awesome. Nobody can argue that. And so you stick with it. You stick with it. Now, again, I want Brock Purdy to be the best quarterback in NFL history. That's who I am. I'm the biggest Trey Lance fan that's out there. I love Trey Lance as a human, as a player, what he provides, all that stuff. But I want Brock Purdy to be the best quarterback of all time. I would be very happy if Brock Purdy just keeps this job and rides off in the sunset and pulls Tom Brady numbers. Nobody would be happier than me. And I'm a Trey Lance fan. But I'm telling you right now, if all 3 quarterbacks were healthy in 6 weeks, it goes Brock if he's playing for real, then it goes Jimmy, then it goes Trey.
Again, I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to argue with it. That's what it should be right now. Do I want Trey in there? I do, but it's not about what I want. Because I still want Trey needs time. How come no one's saying that Brock needs? Never mind. I don't want to have this
he's,
conversation.
he's tired, man. He's
No,
tired.
it's not. I'm not tired. I just don't get us. Like,
yeah, I got it.
Okay, I'm not even gonna ask the question then. Yep, I'll save it.
Yeah,
for my
and I get it too. One, yeah, Jimmy's not going on IR. Theoretically, we don't know that yet. He could,
correct,
but you don't have to activate him. He could just be a scratch every week on the inactive list, very similar to what they did with Eric Armstead. So that's very similar to what they did with Trent Williams to save that IR spot, because you've already brought 6 back out of 8. You have 2 spots left. Elijah Mitchell, Javon Kinlaw, Trey Lance, those are guys that could still come back. So yeah, it's quite possible to have all 3 as active. And I hope that we get that opportunity. I really, really do. Wayne, you are incredible.
So
I appreciate your patience, your hard work, man. It was so great hanging out this weekend. And for those of you, real quick, the next time we're going to be doing something, we're going to be in Seattle. We're going to be partying with the Seattle Faithful at Kale's Irish Pub Wednesday night, the night before the game, because it's a Thursday night game. We'll be out there, free event. Don't need tickets. Show up. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do everything. Then we got our tailgate. That's going to be Thursday during the day from 1 to 4 at Tony T Sports Lounge. Get your tickets at 49ers Rush Road Trip, and that is going to do it. Any closing thoughts or remarks, Wayne?
Hey, what a great win. Let's do it again, because that's what we're going to do. Like, right?
Yes.
I'm all about going all in, winning all. Like, I don't see the 49. Again, I'll say this once. The only way the 49ers lose these games is if they find a way to lose. Other than that, they're the hottest team in the NFL. They're number 3 on the power rankings, which I feel like they've been a little bit shade. They should probably be number 2, number 1. I don't care how many points Dallas put up. Let Dallas come to San Francisco, or let us go to Dallas. We whip that ass too. I have no problems whipping any team's tail in the NFL. The only team I thought that was going to put up points against us, they didn't. And let's talk. Look, we didn't even talk about that. Right now, let's go ahead. Let's get ready. It's Buccaneers week, baby. See y'all tomorrow morning,
man.
11 a.m. Let's go.
I love it, man. All right, Wayne, thank you so much. And to everybody else, man, this is fun. Celebrate this. Good times. It's crazy times. This team is a whirlwind that never stops, man. Thank you, Wayne. You are incredible. Good gosh. And until next time, stay strong, faithful.